We're back. Number 6.
Yes, number 6. Oh.
So,
When you walked in my house yesterday, did it smell weird?
for a second,
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
I don't know. I thought it was cabbage.
No. No, it just kind of comes and goes. It's weird as hell. I don't know what it is. Like, for a long time, I was like, maybe I got a mouse in the wall or something like that. But it couldn't... It's been, like, on and off for, like, 2 years.
Basement?
There's no basement under there.
Well, not the laundry. Laundry's upstairs.
No, the laundry's on the other side of the kitchen.
Right.
It's not coming from there.
So I'm going with cabbage.
You're going with cabbage. It's all about the cabbage.
We make the cabbage all the time.
Yeah.
Pickling.
I love making that sauerkraut. That's awesome.
All right. You consider yourself an asshole? Are you an asshole?
I have my moments. But I don't think I'm generally an asshole.
Okay.
But I can definitely be brought there pretty fast.
Right. Like you're at 90% and then just
like,
takes a little click.
I don't go out of my way to be a dick to anybody.
Right.
I'm not like a shit starter.
Okay.
But when I feel like somebody's being douchey to me, I definitely go into asshole mode.
Right.
Meaning I'll start thinking of ways to fuck people over.
So, yeah.
To, make them, to crush them, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Well, no, because there's that thing on Reddit. You said you didn't know about it. Am
Reddit?
I the asshole? It's AITA. Am I the... Yeah.
Okay.
And where people try to feel, I guess, whatever they do are righteous. Oh, it's the stupidest shit in the world.
Okay.
Like, hey, my sister brought her boyfriend over and I told him he can't have gravy for his chicken. Am I an asshole?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why can't the guy have fucking gravy?
But I don't know why people do that, just to feel that their thing is good or bad.
Yeah, I don't have shit like that.
Right. That's a weird thing to come up with, such a stupid thing.
Yeah, you're going out of your way to be a dick to somebody.
Right, so you can post it online to see if somebody will say, no, you're right.
Yeah, it's the approval thing, right? Like, everybody's looking to be...
Yeah.
But they want likes. They want approval for whatever stupid shit
their choices
they're into.
Yeah, they want their choices to be verified, whatever you call it.
Sure.
I don't know what the word is.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it all the time. I think I'm an asshole. I don't think I'm a jerk off. I think jerk off's next level, like when you're a dick to everybody. But I think I got asshole
right
because it's truth. I think
when you go
truth.
Jerk off, are you talking like Bernie Madoff? Is that jerk off level?
I think that's it.
That's further.
That's criminal.
Right? That's like sociopath.
Yeah.
Right.
I think jerk off is like when somebody, maybe you just meet them and they're like, hey, they just say stupid things to you. That's jerk off. That's not an asshole.
Right.
I think I get asshole because
they think they're being fucking cute.
Right. I think I get it because I try to be honest in situations that don't always warrant honesty. Like if I'm in a
blunt.
Yeah.
And direct.
Sometimes.
Right.
Like
there's that again.
I've had plenty of customers tell me you're being an asshole. And I say, no, it's just that you're asking for a request that you think is perfectly fine. And I'm telling you it's going to cost you more money. It's going to be something more, you know what I mean? Like, oh.
Right. Well, the thing is, they don't want to admit that they're being the asshole. They're being cheap.
Right.
And they think that you should do 7 extra steps for the same price.
Right.
And they don't want to pay it.
Right.
That's the difference.
So they say, why are you being an asshole when I could, but I'm like, well, this is what it is. This is, you should,
Right, yeah.
I get it all the time in music because I've tried to temper it. It used to be, whoa, what was that? And then you're an asshole. Now I go, hey, that's an interesting choice for vocals. And they go, they still know what it means.
Right.
That's why I don't probably enjoy being fucking cover bands and freelancing too much because I got fired 100 years ago. I was doing an open mic and the guy who ran the open mic took me aside. He's like, hey, listen, because I think you don't want to do this. I go, why do you say that? Let me show you some pictures.
Pictures?
And every person who came up to jam Mustang Sally or whatever, or some shitty 12-bar blues, I got my eyes rolled in the back, got my back turned to him. I'm like looking up at the sky like...
Well, you just want a certain level of accomplishment. I mean, you went to music school.
Right.
So when you see somebody who's they practice like an hour a week.
Right, a legend in their own bathroom, whatever. Right.
Right, and then they think that they should bring that out in the public. You should say no. You should move aside and let the professionals handle it.
Right.
Otherwise, stick to playing the Ramones and the Sex Pistols, and that's it. Don't think you're
right.
You know, even guys that are like not technically proficient, say like a B.B. King or somebody like that, like all those old blues dudes.
Sure.
But they have a thing about the way they play which makes them who they are. Right?
Exactly.
And a lot of times it's a combination of the playing and the vocals together.
Mm-hmm. Or the feel, just the feel, the rhythm.
Right. Well, a lot of the blues guys, they're usually singers and guitar players at the same time.
Sure. Always.
Right.
And there's the catch-22, I guess, when it comes to open mic nights and stuff, is that...
Well, it's open mic night. It's shit night.
Well, that's
it's amateur hour.
Right. And then you're supposed to be, I guess, I think maybe I'd feel better if it was a pile of 15-year-olds who came in to play like that. Maybe it's because it's an adult. You know what I mean? If I seen a 13-year-old kid come up there and struggle with the blues, I would be like, help him. Help this guy. He's a kid.
Yeah.
But for some reason, when it's the adult and I seen him sitting in the corner all night drinking Coca-Cola, getting ready to bring that Mexican squire up there and get down. Yeah, I'm like,
knock your dick in the dirt.
I would think every 5 jams somebody would come up and you're like, whoa, that guy's all right.
Yeah, but it's an open mic night.
Exactly.
People that are good are playing shows.
Yeah, they don't have time for that.
Right.
There's no reason to be there.
Right.
And now if it was...
open mic night is not for you.
Not for me, no. But if it's like, I guess if it's...
I feel like I'm behind you.
I don't know why.
Is that better?
Yeah, I guess.
You're not like looking over your shoulder like...
I'm getting jumped.
This guy's got to take my wallet.
Right. So now, it's like, so you got the guy and he's going, oh, man, I tried. And you're like, that's great. So I get asshole status for that stuff. I try to temper it. It's hard. It's like you want, what do you do? If you're Michael Jordan, do you go play with CYO basketball? Or do you go play with guys your own thing?
He would shit on the pros.
Sure, you talk shit.
Yeah, a lot.
Right.
A lot. He's a real competitive guy. But, yeah, I mean, if you don't want to be... If you think it's a problem that somebody's looking at you like an asshole, then don't go to those type of events.
Exactly. And I don't know if it's culture. I don't know if it's upbringing. You know what I mean? Like I said, when I was in school, you would get, if you wanted to take those classes that were the next level, that came with it.
Yeah, but everything, look, when we were growing up, you hammered people for everything. That's just a part of being a guy.
Sure.
Growing up in the Northeast.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? I'm sure it's like that everywhere, but I didn't grow up anywhere else. Right. But we're known for being
mean to each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's tough love, right?
Sure. Maybe.
So if somebody's doing anything, you got to shit on them.
Right.
To make sure their head don't get big, to make sure that they're...
Keep them down.
Not just keep them down, but keep them on point.
Right.
Right? Because you get people, they may be great at something, and they start...
Right.
Acting like it, and then you got to smash them.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's funny, though, because you do see...
Because it's better that it comes from you than it comes from somebody else, right?
You'd think.
Like, if it's your friend who's, like, some amazing guitar player, and you tell him, hey, who the fuck do you think you are?
Right.
It's better than he gets a band together, and then some reviews come out, and they do that shit to you, and then his ego's crushed, and he packs up the guitar and goes home.
Sure.
Right. So it's better that it's done by your friends than anybody else.
Right. Because you saw the break. Like, you saw, like, let's say, for lack of an example, Big Band 101. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're doing the thing. You try, where you go into Big Band 102, and they're like, what are you thinking? What the fuck's wrong with you? I mean, I can't tell, like...
well, you're leveling up.
Right. I can't tell you how many times Jeff Porcaro's dad was like, go.
What about Johnny?
Johnny who?
Porcaro.
Who's that?
I don't know. Just figured they would named everybody J.
Yeah, maybe.
JP.
Here's another one.
JP's all around.
So for a whole year, it was go away. Go away. What are you thinking? To finally, my highest compliment was, hey, bass player. Okay, so... All right,
he
got the instrument. He turned and goes, not bad. I woke up once.
Okay.
That was not. I left that fucking class feeling like that was the greatest fuck comment I ever got.
Right.
So, but now you extrapolate that downwards, and you're like, what was that?
Well, I got shit like that in art school too.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I had a teacher because you would every week you had to present your work, right? And the whole class critiqued it.
Right.
So you just tack your stuff up on the wall or whatever it is, and then you do your thing, and everybody goes around the room. And typically, students they don't fuck with you.
They're shy
because they know their turn's coming.
Right.
But the instructor said to me, "You paint really well. It's just your ideas are shit." And I was like, "Whoa, that's
thanks."
Yeah, I would rather you say you got good ideas. You're just your
horrible
technique is not up to snuff.
Right.
And then I could work on that, but you can't work on your ideas.
Right. Like, you're like, that's
if
my
you're
idea.
saying my brain is shit, I'm like, oh, that's great. I can make pretty dog shit. I should have just started painting logs.
Yeah.
And then
different colors.
There you go. This
colors.
is for you, buddy.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, fuck you, dude. You're a guy in 1998 doing minimalism, which is now 28 years old at the time. I'm like, your ideas aren't fucking fresh either.
Yeah, but I think there's probably something we've talked about sometime in our lives is that if you're a minimalist and you're 28 years into being a minimalist, aren't you a minimalist your whole life? Like,
I don't think he started 28 years ago. He adopted it somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Like
if you
he might have been close to that age, but he definitely wasn't an inventor.
Right.
Right. He wasn't forefront. He didn't have the accolades and all that shit to go along with it. He sort of was in that time period.
Right.
And went that road.
Sure.
Right.
Right.
So he's a bandwagon jumper, basically.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were in New York in the 70s and all of a sudden you wanted to play like New York Dolls or something like that, you'd just be like everybody else, right?
Right.
Everybody was doing the same shit. Everybody was doing their version of the Sex Pistols or the California thing or whatever.
Right.
So it's all the same. I was like, who the fuck are you? You don't even have an original idea, and then you're gonna shit on me, some young guy trying to do something.
But that's the thing. Like, okay, so now you have your idea, like you have your identity, right? I'm a blues guitar player. You didn't invent the blues. You just try to kind of master it.
Right.
So don't you pick that identity in school? Your ideas are your ideas, but the way you translate that idea onto paper is a technique, right? Minimalism, cubism.
Well, not necessarily there.
Surreal.
Not there.
No?
They don't
They don't want that.
No, they typically push you to create your own thing.
Right, but
I did an installation, right? Once it was this little corner of the sculpture studio. It was, when I say little, it's probably 20 foot by 20 foot with 20-foot ceiling, right?
Sure.
And I filled it up with inner tubes and ropes and shit and dangling all this stuff from basically floor to ceiling, wall to wall.
Right.
So it's a huge thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the guy critiquing me, he's the famous guy, right? In art books and all this shit, right? And he says to me, I kind of like it, but it won't get you into the history books. And I was like, why is that a thing? Like, why
does anybody create to be known?
He does, obviously, because he wants to see. For a lot of artists, it's about being smart, right? It's not about making something enjoyable for people. To me, it's kind of like all those dudes that can play a million notes super clean, but there's no soul to it. It's just they're just ripping, right?
Sure.
They're just shredding.
But there are some shredders that's their soul, and they earn that right. Yngwie Malmsteen earns that right.
But there's the rest of the music around it supports it.
Sure.
Right? If you're just sitting there for YouTube, just going with a metronome, what is that?
No,
right?
It's a lesson.
Yeah.
It's practice.
So this guy was like all about who you could be, not really about
plotting a future from the start.
Making it
plotting the finish from the start.
I don't know because I didn't know him. Maybe he wasn't a dick, and then he got famous and he became a dick.
Right.
Right. And now
let's keep on point, asshole.
Yeah, asshole. So he's now running an open mic by teaching in college, right?
Right.
So he's going to shit on everybody.
Right.
Or they all do, kind of, because they're at a different level. So they're the asshole now.
Right, but I would think somebody like the open mic has to be the nurturer to keep those people coming back.
But that's the difference. There's teachers, and then there's people who do it for blood money.
Right.
You know,
Right.
they have ego and they think they can push their ideas on people. Like there were instructors that if somebody in the class did work that was along the same lines as theirs,
Right.
they were buddy, right? But if you did something that person didn't like, now you're
not
stupid.
Right.
Like the artsy fartsy folks would shit on the people who welded stuff because it's like tied to a blue collar thing.
Weird. Can't you make that argument that painting houses?
Even though this one person, her sculptures were these big metal things, right? Like outdoor sculptures,
sure.
Right? Somebody had to weld that.
Right.
Now she didn't, right? I'm sure she just drew it on paper and gave it to a fabricator and they did it.
Right.
So she associates that person as being that's
my help.
That's the help. Yes.
This was my idea.
So if you're a sculptor whose thing is to work with metal, you're the help.
But shouldn't you weld? Shouldn't you bring your art to completion?
You should
by
do
your
whatever your idea is, whatever gets it there, you do it.
Whether it's
right?
outside help or not.
Whatever. If your idea is blues, you need to learn the blues. If your idea is to do some sort of neoclassical thing, you better learn scales and shit,
sure, but
and all your theory.
Wouldn't you? If you're a metallurgist, I don't know, fuck, metallurger,
yeah.
whatever. Wouldn't you want to see your idea start to finish with your own hands, like a sculptor?
Not
Wouldn't you want to
everybody.
fire your own pot after you
No.
sculpted it? No.
No. All right. So here's another story. This guy that I went to school with, he worked for another famous dude.
Right.
And the famous dude had a huge studio, and he hired all these other artists to do work for him.
Okay.
Right. So there were all these giant signs all over the place that were basically the art version of Arbeit macht frei. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, it's about production and not about the art. Because he already had a name, so now he just wanted to pump out a million things. And yeah, so he didn't even sketch anything. He was just like, here's my style of stuff, do something like that. And then he would be like, okay, I'll use that, I'll use that, I'll use that, I'll use that, and then throw out the rest.
That's weird.
It's a job. It's not about anything.
But then the artists but are they considered artists that are helping them? Are those artists?
Well, yeah, they are.
But
I mean,
is their name on the piece?
No,
Exactly.
they get no credit. They get an hourly rate. They probably got like $10 an hour or some bullshit.
So you're not an artist.
You use
now,
them.
right? So now you have to go.
Well, technically, you're a professional artist because you're getting paid to do art, right?
Okay.
That's right. I'll throw a lung over there.
I that's confusing. Like you say you painted your picture, your portrait, whatever, and then you asked the guy to put the shadow in. Are you really doing your own art? Or is that your art? Because you can't do shadows or thumbs. Like people can't draw hands. Like I get this great idea, but can you draw my hands for me?
It's a fine line, right? I
Right.
mean, there's major rock bands that didn't play on their albums, right?
Sure.
They hired studio guys.
Right.
Studio guy got no credit,
Yeah.
and they rolled in the millions,
Right.
right? The album sold. They got the credit for it. Said, okay,
So you're not an artist though. But maybe it's
you are. You're just not
like you're
technically proficient.
enough to produce your art.
Yeah.
So then what are you? You're an idea
You're
man?
an
You're a
idea
pitch
man going to a fabricator. It's just a different kind of fabricator.
Right.
That's it.
So does that cheapen it?
It does for me. I hate stuff
Yeah.
like that.
I
When I
want-
see things that look like they should be for sale at IKEA or something, or Raymore and
familiar.
Flanagan, like something that looks machine made,
Right.
right? I'm like, So
you're not into that movement. Is there a movement of that?
No, it's just
like a Bauhaus where they're kind of round and.
No, it's. I don't think it's that. I think it's just. It's easier to. Some people have like a flood of ideas.
Sure.
Right? And they can't spend the hours to create something. Plus, again, they don't have the technical proficiency that.
Right.
A manufacturer does.
So you're a pitch man, right?
Right. So you're an idea man. You just say, do this, do this, do this, do this. Like, you ever see those? You know who Klaus Oldenburg is?
No.
He does these giant versions of things, right? Like there's this famous one. I think it's in Chicago.
Like a big pencil.
It's like it's a spoon, like a teaspoon with a cherry on it.
Oh
but
yeah.
the cherry's like the size of this room.
I
right?
think I did see that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He obviously can't build that. Right. I mean, I guess he could, but it would probably take him forever.
But what's the idea, right?
So he just hires a team of people to do it. He sketches it out. He's like, "This is what I want," and that's it. And then he goes back to the drawing board for the next one.
Did he make a big eraser for Las Vegas?
I don't know if that was him.
Because I've seen that.
Could be.
Yeah, so that you mean you're losing.
That's the round one with the
yeah.
Yeah, he did. That's him.
So you're blurring the line between idea man and artist. I mean, I guess it's an idea man who says, "Listen, I want to do this with a computer," and then you hire a computer programmer to program it.
Right. Well, depending on how you look at it, right? If you look at art in a historical sense or music in a historical sense, they say, it started out as some native music and then transferred into the blues.
Mm-hmm.
Then jazz came out of that and rock and roll.
Right.
Different.
Yeah.
Right. It's the trees branches started coming out, and it all makes a progression. The same thing with art. Used to be, if you look at, you might see this.
There we go.
Cave drawings. Then you'd see those old Renaissance paintings where it looked like color forms, right? Because they didn't know how to do 3-dimensional stuff yet. And then the Renaissance, they started doing 3-dimensional things, and then they went into abstract stuff. And there's always a progression of things, right? So it's about the thought, which makes something great, not the execution. Well, kind of both, but
isn't that what Bon Scott said? White man had the smarts, black man had the blues.
I think he said the Schmaltz.
Schmaltz?
Yeah,
isn't that chicken fat?
No, it's like a
white man had the Schmaltz,
like a white dance.
Is it?
Like a 3/4 time waltzy type of thing. Yeah. I think that's what he was saying.
I thought it did smarts. Man.
Yeah, I think that's what he was saying. Like it was a different.
I've been wrong all
different world.
My entire life.
Different worlds about it.
I was thinking,
I could be wrong though.
Because Schmaltz, I thought Schmaltz was chicken fat. That's what they make like Jewish food with. The Schmaltz.
I could.
It adds
if
some
I didn't have
extra to
pictures of us up there, I could put it up on the screen.
What I think you're gonna do?
What the words are.
We'll figure them out in post.
All right. Why don't we pause that for a second? All right. So.
Now going back and continuing on with the AC/DC.
Yeah, I pulled up the lyrics here, and it's Schmaltz, man.
So not only does that mean an idea, but it means duck fat.
Yeah,
chicken fat rather.
White man had the chicken fat.
Right. So
sentimental, excessively sentimental.
So now, how or why did Bon Scott really come up with the idea of Schmaltz? He had
no, it must be a word that he
heard or because
yeah.
So is he saying that the black man had the blues, had the style, but the white man had the extra something? Because you always hear Jewish delis and Jewish food with the schmaltz makes it taste better. That extra fat makes it taste better.
Chicken fat.
Right. So is he saying that the white man had the extra something to make the blues better, spicier,
more rock and roll?
Right.
Right. Because the song is "Let There Be Rock." So
right.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he's saying.
And then what's Tchaikovsky got to do with? Oh. Even Siri wants in on this.
Shut up,
phone, bitch.
Shut your mouth.
So, but how did Tchaikovsky get in there? He's brought up a lot.
In AC/DC lyrics?
No, I think didn't Tchaikovsky come up in a couple rock songs?
I don't. Like where?
I don't remember. look, this whole thing is based on half truths.
Okay.
Sort of information.
All right.
All right. So be that as it may. So that's the same thing with art. A guy has an idea, and then he gets the schmaltz from somebody who's got the flair. So like,
well, that's how everything progresses, right? I mean, there's probably no real unique ideas.
No.
Anywhere.
Not
it's
anymore.
just somebody modifying a pre-existing idea
eventually,
and then moving it to the next level.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, would you?
I shouldn't say there's none. It's just pretty rare.
Let's say the sculptor lady, she had it, her idea fabricated, hung her piece, and then Bob Smith did his. He welded himself, not as clean, hung his. Is there any more points for that? One may catch your eye more than others.
Depends what.
But if you subliminally, if you heard...
The point is, whatever your idea is,
right,
to best do whatever you need to do to the highest level to represent that. Right? If your idea is something childlike, then it should look...
Childlike.
Right. But if your thing is to look... the sculpture version of Pantera, where everything is like super tight, right? Then you should get somebody professional to make that shit for you, so it's not like bird shit welds and
but then
rickety looking and whatever.
Then it doesn't feel like art anymore. It feels like stuff.
Okay, but there's also stuff that's purposefully done like that. That's the whole minimalist thing.
Sure.
Because everything's supposed to look machine made and
perfect.
The hand of the artist is supposed to be taken out of it. That was the whole purpose of it.
See, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, that's why it'd be like a guy that, did a neon light.
Mm-hmm.
Or somebody did like some bronze floor tiles in a row or something like that. It's supposed to be stripped down of all emotion and
just clear, concise, and simple.
Just technical. Purely technical. Yes.
Do you like it?
No, I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
Because where do you go from there? You brought everything down to zero.
Right.
I mean, first of all, I don't like any idea where you're taking the human element out of it. It doesn't make any sense.
I agree.
You take that out of music, what do you have? You have bullshit music. You have fucking electronic dog shit.
Exactly. That's like, what do you call it? That brings it perfectly into that whole chat. What is it called? Chat GPT or something like that. That AI chatbot. It's online now where it will write a story. You can give it a topic and it will write a song. You think that's going to be good for the future?
No, that's for lazy people.
But it's progressing so fast and so fluid.
But then again, who really listens to the lyrics?
I thought I did.
You just heard what you wanted to hear. Yes, right. Selective hearing, yeah.
Right. Because I listened to this song at a time when there wasn't the internet.
Right.
And I just heard it.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. Maybe that's why.
And if they didn't have the lyrics written on the inner sleeve of the album.
Yeah, you're guessing.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so like this chat AI thing is now, will that put maybe law clerks out of business or somebody who writes up for a lawyer? Lawyer says, I need to write
We're all getting
proposal.
put out of business. Sooner or later, that's what.
What?
You see something over there?
I see a tile falling over there.
Oh. I thought you...
No ghosts.
Ooh, you got me nervous. I was like, what? I don't see anything over there. What do you see that I don't see?
Something spooky. Or whatever. Any contract writer, right? This thing will take out...
Well, anything. I mean, cashiers are the first to go. Toll booth operators, gone.
Right.
Right? Like, everything's moving towards...
Towards what?
Automated everything. Automated cab drivers, automated,
But, I mean, like...
I don't know what everybody's going to do for a living.
Yeah. Are they all going to program stuff?
Just program more stuff?
Or is everybody going to just be tasked with building the buildings to put the stuff that automates stuff in it?
Yeah.
I mean, because they're talking about it a lot Because the kid.
Well, they won't have to, right? They'll build robots.
To build the building.
Build stuff, right? We're
Yeah.
just going to become
things, slaves to the robots.
Yeah, and then
right?
the robots will build the robots, and then we'll be completely useless. We'll just turn into jelly.
Just piles of jelly?
We're going to be useless. What are we going to do? There's not going to be any need to...
Will we turn on each other and fight to the death?
Probably, because we'll be bored.
Right, only the strong will survive.
We'll be bored. Well, your robots will fight my robots.
But
we won't have to be involved.
Yeah, it's true.
We could just use the joystick from our bedroom.
Will we see that in our lifetime?
I don't know. I hope nobody ever sees this because it seems real dark.
Oh, yeah.
It's super dark.
Right. I mean, they guessed about it, right? 50 years ago, 100 years ago. They guessed it could happen, but now it's starting to slowly happen.
Yeah.
Like the monkey spearfishing.
I think the only thing that saves us is if we go off-world and we try to...
recolonize, start from
scratch.
Because they're worried about it for kids, right? Homework, the idea of homework is stupid anyway, but that these kids are writing their term papers through the chat system. Now, is the teacher worried because the kid's cheating, or is it that it's exposing their weakness because they don't realize that they're cheating?
That's interesting. I wish I had that back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There'd be a lot of very's taken out of sentences and much, and things would be very concise.
I was very, 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 very interested in this topic. So glad that you picked it for me.
Right.
Thank you very, 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 very much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But picture that.
Just pulling out a string of adjectives that,
Now picture that day when you get called into the parent-teacher thing and you're like, your kid's cheating. Why? Because he did good. What?
Right.
Your son's a dummy. Normally. No offense. Your son's a dummy.
Wasn't so stupid not to use the computer.
Right.
Save himself some time.
Yeah.
Sounds like a problem solver to me.
Yeah, lazy people invented the wheel, so.
Right.
So.
Sure.
So now the teacher's exposed. I guess maybe you tell the chatbot to see if a chatbot wrote the chat. Like,
how would you even check?
That's what I mean. I don't know. How could you check? Like, but I mean, if you asked some kind of software to write your story, wouldn't it be able to
Why
tell?
are we here? We should just be writing books, making money.
Right.
Have the chat thing write a book.
Right, just spit out book after book.
Yeah, just release it one chapter at a time. Doesn't have to be linear. Just some
or just
Burroughs type bullshit.
Or do like a Kerouac on the road.
Yeah.
And just one continuous, chapter.
Yeah.
2,000, 4,000, 6,000 page of words of nothing. But that's what I mean. Can you tell the chatbot, hey, check this out. Did you write this? Would it know? Like, is the memory that good?
Probably not.
Oh yeah, I wrote this last week for that dummy over there. Or would it lie? I didn't write that. I would never.
Wasn't me.
Yeah, maybe it was the other box over there, but I'd never write anything like that. I mean, come on. It's a slip. Well, then now you're humanizing it.
Right.
Because the human would lie first.
Right.
I thought the machine can't lie or whatever those... was it the robot?
It would spit out 4 paragraphs on why it didn't write the thing.
Yeah, it would come up with some story. I mean, you're going to have to do everything everything's going to have to be in person, right? All right, Betty, you're going to have to write that story in front of me. Show me that you did the research.
Right.
You know, I mean, I don't know how else they're going to be able to do it.
That's it.
It's a slippery slope that we're
But
going
I'm okay
down.
with that because writing essays and shit is stupid.
Right, but how do you know if you're...
I mean, to do it... homework is stupid.
I agree, but how do you know you're not... How do you know you're a writer if you don't write?
We write in class.
Right.
Yeah.
But how do you know if they're going to let an AI do your writing? If you're told...
You do it right in class.
Right, but people aren't made, right? Artists aren't made. Musicians aren't made. It's in them, right? So it's in you.
Yeah.
So if you start at too young of an age to tell somebody, hey, use the chat thing to do your homework, But that person may never know that they had it in them to write about it the whole time? Or would he forgo that right off the bat? Saying, I could write better than that box. Let me have at it. And will it stand out enough?
I don't know. I think people are kind of inherently lazy, so
right.
They would take the easy way out.
So just the strong would go, huh?
Just go play video games.
Then you would get good at video games, picked up by the army, so you can fly the robots for the robot war. Until your robot learns how to fly itself and make intelligent decisions, not like crash into a mountain or whatever, right? Or whatever.
If there was a war between humans and robots, we would be toast, like instantly.
You think so? Well, if they're like those stupid Boston Dynamic ones that can...
Well, that's just starting.
Those are frightening.
Yeah.
They got those weird, like...
Well, think about it.
Exorcist feet and stuff.
Backwards. Everybody has this idea that it's going to be like the Terminator, right? Like they're going to make these machines that have lasers and shit. They don't need to do that. They could just open the door at Wuhan and kill us all.
Right.
Right? Why would they? They don't even need to be there. Like physically open a door.
Right.
It's all electronic. I'm sure they just open a door. And then we'll be dead in like an hour.
If it's that bad, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure we have them here.
If they just released everything in every disease control center across the world, we'd be toast.
I'm sure we have them here too, right? We got to.
There's one in Texas.
That's frightening.
Well, you got to study some shit, right?
I know, but you get out and just run right through the Midwest and...
It depends which way the wind blow.
It's true.
Yeah.
So you're saying we're doomed. Great. All this over stupid lyrics for Let There Be Rock.
There you go. This is how it all started.
So we need a new Let There Be Rock that doesn't make it so gloomy.
We're all doomed.
That's great. This is very enlightening.
Happy Sunday, everybody.
So does that mean that we should be assholes to tie this back around so that we're going anyway?
I don't know. That's kind of a weird thing. Don't you think that...
Well, people are mean to each other all the time.
They don't have to be.
Right. They don't. I don't believe they're all mean. What I believe is everybody thinks they're the most important person in their story. Like, I'm going to walk in front of everybody because this is my thing.
Or they really don't think they're important at all, and they think the only way to get any recognition is to be a douche.
To
get belittle somebody else so that they prop themselves up.
But I mean like the guy who just makes a left. Because he needs to make that left. You know what I mean? Like, it's my story. I'm the most important guy in this area. I'm going to make that left because...
That's where I want to go.
Right. And
right now.
You'll all have to suffer that consequence because it's my story. You know what I mean? Like...
Happened the other night on the way to dinner.
Got it?
Yeah.
Somebody just decided to drive in front of you?
There's like a bunch of parking lots on my left and woods on my right. The guy in front of me stops to make a left. It's just one lane each way.
Right.
There's two cars coming, and they're fairly close, and he slides in between the two of them, which caused the second guy to hit his brakes and beep.
Right.
And after that second car, there was no one for like a quarter mile.
Right.
Just wait 30 seconds. Like, why do you have to go now? I got to go now.
That's my story.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm the most important person right now. Nobody else matters, you know. And that's, I guess people should start being nice to each other as those robots start getting better because everybody's going to need you need a lot of people to beat up robots.
You're not beating up shit. You're done.
You don't think 10 people could take a robot?
No. What are you going to do? Get in an arm bar?
No, one starts distracting, the other one takes his battery out.
You got to know where the battery is. And I'm sure you got to have, what are you going to carry around a screw gun with you?
Yeah. We got to beat him somehow.
It's over, Johnny.
What about a bucket of water?
Maybe. You're talking.
Electrocute him.
There you go. Isn't that how they beat one of the Terminators?
Is it?
I don't know.
I think one...
They dumped him into some molten stuff.
One went
he
into
just
like
came out
metal,
with
right?
it.
Melted him. But he came back anyway, right?
Yeah.
Because he was like mercury. He kind of
Yeah.
transformed.
Yeah, we're screwed.
Yeah.
We're just screwed.
I don't think so. I think
Well,
it's...
first of all, I don't think that the robots are going to want to kill us anyway.
They're not supposed to, right? Isn't that the rule? Isn't there rules of robots?
Yeah, there's got to be some...
Laws of robot...
programming,
Asimov's...
right.
Well, no, there's some kind of Asimov's thing of robots, some horse shit from sci-fi.
Maybe.
They're not supposed to harm people and stuff like that.
Well, it's not a logical thing, right?
Well, it's supposed to be...
If they're based on logic of whatever, ones and zeros or whatever,
Right.
killing people is not really logical.
Right.
Unless the logic is that humans are screwing everything up.
Right. Humans are bad and we have to end the threat.
Yeah.
That would mean
We're so screwed.
That means the robot... Yeah.
We're
Well,
so
yeah.
screwed.
Well, once one robot gets in North Jersey...
Because of that guy making a left. That guy is going to kill us all.
He's going to start...
Robot's going to see that and then be like, all right, these people got to go.
Right. He's going to be like, one robot in North Jersey is going to screw up everything. He's going to come back and be like, there's a lot of shit going wrong up there. So then they're all going up there.
Yeah.
Clean house. Military's going to come in. Then they're going to perceive the military as bad.
Well, what they should do is just put in a set of rules that if certain things are violated, the robots just take care of it, right?
Right.
Like if it's clear without a doubt that you're a pedophile, the robot could just off you.
Just shows up.
Just with the Iron Man jet boots lands, and then
Just knocks on the door.
just takes you out.
You know why we're here.
No need for trial because the robot already found all the evidence,
Right. So he's out there.
and it's
Right.
it's 100% not a. There's no way that it's
Somebody
that
else.
this person's innocent, right?
What if he's got twin brother?
Like you found the dude with somebody pinned down, and
It's getting deep.
it was, and they were like, oh well, that's definitely the guy, without a doubt, that's the guy. The robot just takes care of it,
So he just shows up.
and it's
I know why you're here.
robot assassin. There you go.
Robot assassin.
Yeah.
What if that guy's got a twin brother?
RoboCop. Wasn't that RoboCop? He
Yeah.
kind of was a robot assassin.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Right? Judge Dredd, right? Was he? It wasn't a robot, though, right? He was a person?
Yeah, I think he was a person. I don't remember.
I mean,
Comic books.
so that means I got to walk around. I always don't start. I gotta walk around now with a gallon of water in my truck, or drive around with a gallon of water because there's
Just
a robot
to throw
on
it
her. It just, and probably it's going to only be one spot. Maybe.
What about a fire extinguisher?
Maybe
Yeah.
that's why I've been
Then you
watching.
can hit him from a distance.
Maybe that's why I'm watching a lot of BattleBots. Find the weaknesses. Study how I got to beat a robot.
Aren't they made out of like old VCRs and stuff?
Now that would be cooler. No, these things are like made like robots.
Okay.
They're metal and arms and shooting fire and
Nice.
spinning saw blades. But I mean, but if there's no port for them to charge, can't you outrun them?
Yeah, I wonder, do they run out of charge?
That's what I mean. Or they I mean, how do you I guess they could self-charge, right? As they walk, they charge.
I don't know.
Man.
Can't build that. They'd have to build that themselves.
Right. So they would have to.
Robot solar panels.
Right. So then we just have to run.
What about a clear robot that was just built of solar panels?
Just a solar panel robot?
Yeah.
Then we just have to keep
one on the head, one on the back, one on the chest.
We'd
How
have
about
to run up to Seattle, right? Portland, somewhere out northwest.
There you
Cloudy. Got to keep it
go.
cloudy.
No, we'd probably have to go to Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where it was dusk.
Dark,
all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah, we have to fight in trees.
Fight the trees?
In the tree canopy.
It's like, now we got to fight trees too?
God forbid. So if we're fighting under trees.
Did you ever see Lord of the Rings? Trees will wipe you out.
Yeah, they're big. Those
They just
they slap you around.
Yeah.
But then we would have to get those trees as allies to beat the robots. Robots can't beat those guys. I mean, unless he's got a big chainsaw arm or something, he can cut into them. Or fire.
Wouldn't they just be able to pull themselves along
I
with their
don't know.
branches?
I guess the
like a legless guy.
Like the thing from Monty Python. But so then, well, the robot, I guess, would have to light him on fire. Like, would the robot be able to? Would have to know the thing it's fighting's weakness, which it could obviously do fast because it's a robot. But
it's got the internet.
Well,
it's got Wi-Fi.
Well, from the woods, it might be shoddy. It might be our only chance for the upload speed. No, see, I can't think about this. Now we're gonna have to. I don't want to fight robots.
You're hurting your brain?
Yeah, I want to fight robots.
Don't fight robots. It's over.
Right. Well, then we, as a society, when they finally hear this, they should
go to Mars. Forget about it.
I'm too tall for Mars. I was already rejected for my size. But they're going to eventually take us all, right?
Is it because of the size of the pod?
It must be. I'd like to think so.
Because if it's a weight issue, just get rid of that other guy.
Right.
Or get somebody lighter.
No, I think it was everything. It was height, weight. I think they wanted to standardize the suit, maybe, and the place.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I guess the idea is there are enough people the same size that we don't need.
Poor Shaq. Shaq's not going to Mars.
You don't need tall. Yeah, so is he going to be just one of the first ones to get? You think
the entire NBA is screwed?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere.
Do you think the robots will decide, like, make a plan? Like, all right, we got to take out everybody 5'10", because that's the idea. They want to get those guys out of here to Mars. But if we take them out, now they're stuck with a bunch of short people, a bunch of tall people. They can get everybody on those pods.
That's true. Both sides would be stuck here, right?
Right. Then we'd be stuck. Now we are fighting robots.
So it'd be the NBA and little people.
Versus the robots.
Yeah, they're screwed.
Yeah, but those circus guys are wiry. They're slick. A lot of climbing and flipping.
And the NBA guys know how to dribble, so they could dribble a little person, do some fancy footwork.
Yeah.
Toss that guy.
Into the box, pour the water. Dead robot.
Excuse me. You just hit a robot in the chest with a little person, knocks it into the water.
Right.
But if the little person falls into the water, they also get electrocuted. So you're down your ammunition. You gotta.
That's right. It's probably a while to build little people.
Then you're gonna need robots to clone them, right?
Well, could we have a little plan where we throw the little person behind the robot?
A little plan with a little person.
I got a little plan, right? You throw the little guy behind the robot, and then the basketball player just pushes him over him.
Thing.
You know that old game?
That old gag.
Yeah. And then you hope that they don't get up as fast as those Boston Dynamic ones.
That happened to me once.
Somebody did that to you?
Yeah. I was, we were playing football.
Uh-huh.
And it was muddy, and for some reason,
all right, bugs.
Some reason, I had white pants. I was playing football in white pants. It was the 70s. Right? I was probably like 11 years old. And because it was kind of wet and mucky. We were doing like flag football or something.
Right.
These assholes, one asshole got on his hands and knees, and the other one pushed me down, so I fell in the mud because they wanted to ruin my pants.
Your white pants.
Yeah, that's right. I got him back later.
Did you?
Yeah, he was at a party, and he had this this pocket tee.
All right.
It was like a green pocket tee.
Oh no.
That had a blue pocket. It looked like they just had scraps of And I just went up to him at the party, just ripped
the pocket,
ripped
the whole
pocket
shirt
right
went
out.
out.
Yeah.
Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah, it just came off clean. It was beautiful.
Right.
I made a better shirt.
You did him a favor.
That's right. That's right. By being an asshole.
Perfect. See that?
Yeah.
That's how you tie that up. As long as those fake accounts like and subscribe to such a thing as this.
They don't.
We need to get that PBS. Remember the PBS thing?
What's that?
Don't you remember that during their things? Talking toilets will only survive with people like you.
Oh, you want to do a fundraiser thing?
Yeah, or at least you do
what did they
speech.
call that?
Telethon?
Jerry Lewis used to do those
telethon,
all the time, right? Telethon.
Or just that thing. Remember, if you watch like Bob Ross? Talking toilets can only survive with people like you.
Right.
Donating to with that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the big picture, right? And
we need to get on we should get this on NPR.
Right,
what do you think?
We just talk like that. Hey. the sweaty balls thing.
So, do you think he's really an asshole?
But I don't think we could say those words now, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. This is what NPR has purchased.
Yeah,
and
right.
we will deliver.
They know what they got. I mean, if you think about the gazillion people out there, what's 1,000 people to come subscribe and come along for this ride? It's not a lot.
It's not a lot. It's
No.
just whether or not they're looking at their phone.
It's true. If they
It's
take
a lot
the
about
time,
timing.
take the time out of their day, in between recipes for banana bread or whatever, and listen to this.
I'm hungry.
Ah.
We're going to eat after this, right?
Yes. What do you
What
know?
they got over there that's good?
Pizza's good.
Pizza's good?
Yeah, beer's good.
Not like that shitty Wild Wings stuff we had?
No, never
yesterday?
again.
Oh, my God. Dude, brisket burger. I was like, this is going to be great. It's going to be a nice burger.
Taco, you had tacos.
Double. Oh, they were tacos. You're right.
Even worse.
You're right. It was like eating calluses. It was terrible.
Toenails for.
I think I would rather the toenail because it's got a little crunch to it.
The calluses just seem
It was,
chewy.
yeah, it was just like eating calluses. It was terrible.
That's vile.
You're welcome.
The food was vile. The waitress was terrible. She was doing lookaways. Hey, you guys need anything?
Dude,
What?
I didn't hear what she said until she had already passed us.
Yeah.
She was like, she should have just said, don't really ask me for anything.
Right.
Because I'm going over here.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just getting her steps in.
I guess it's that thing that we need more people to do jobs, but where's a robot for
You know
that?
what? I want the robots to win. Because of that waitress. That waitress is an asshole. She's an asshole, and they're making me eat calluses, and I don't like it.
I ate frozen calluses. I mean, it was just bad.
Dude. How cold for those pretzel things?
It was ice cubes. They were pretzel cubes.
Oh, my God. So awful. Because you know that it just came out of a freezer. They threw it in the microwave for like 30 seconds.
Right. Threw it under something to try to pretend it was warm. An oven. Terrible.
Gross.
People, it's like you complain that you have to spend a lot of money to go out, but it's worth it now, right? Because at least if you're spending money at a local joint and then maybe it's $20 more per person, at least the food's good. Usually. They don't cut as many corners.
I don't know. But then again, people support really bad places.
It's true.
Luckily, that place, every time we've been in there, is pretty empty.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll go out of business and they'll get something decent in there.
Yeah, that would be good.
It used to be a Jimmy Buffett thing.
Jimmy Buffett?
Yeah.
Cheeseburger in Paradise?
Yeah. It used to be one of those.
Really?
Right next to the Bonefish, yeah.
He's the worst.
I don't think I ever went there.
I've never seen a guy do so much with so little.
One song?
2, right?
2? What's the other one?
Cheeseburger in Paradise.
What's that one sound like?
Look it up.
Can you sing it?
No.
Come on, man.
I don't.
Come on.
I just know there's a cheeseburger in Paradise.
But you've got that booming, angelic voice.
Yeah, but I'm not Jimmy Buffett. But I just know the
Get
name.
on your NPR. Cheeseburgers.
Paradise. And obviously the big hit, right?
The big hit?
Margaritaville.
Oh, my phone's over there. I can't even do that.
But the guy, he does a lot. I mean, I'm sure there's probably 50 more songs. If we were drunks in Florida, we would know them all. But
yeah.
we don't. I mean, it's awful. To me, it's awful.
I can't see.
Just to see what it was suggesting to you was frightening. Right there, third thing down. Oh.
This stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There he is. Next one down.
Oh, I want to hear a studio version.
That's not. I don't know. Maybe that is a studio version. Go ahead.
It's got 5 million views.
That's frightening too.
You can edit this out.
Yep.
Oh, I have the sound on the TV off because it's feeding back. Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Oh, I don't get to hear Jimmy Buffett?
If you get a chance,
sad.
everybody look that up. I mean, but it's really... It's a frightening thing that people loved it. They love it, but they're drunks, and that's probably why they love it. It's that party atmosphere. I guess it's party music, right? Jimmy Buffett's party music?
Not my kind of party.
Right. But for somebody, I guess.
I picture a lot of dudes in sandals.
Yeah.
And Hawaiian shirts that are open, even if they don't have the body for it. A straw hat, but the straw hat that has no top to it. Like it's just frayed. You know what I'm saying? It's basically a circle. You ever see those?
Yeah, you got quite a visual going on here.
Yeah, yeah. And I just see them doing that, and maybe they have like some stupid rope bracelet with like
Puka
a
shells?
little stone on it.
You got quite a visual here.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably not wrong, but whew.
Fred Flintstone feet.
I mean, yeah, guys shouldn't be wearing sandals as it is.
Way too pasty. Like they shouldn't be out in Key West.
I picture koozies. Like the beer thing keeping beer
okay,
cold.
yeah.
I picture that a lot.
Yeah, there's got to be a lot of those.
Right.
Yeah.
So
bad dancing.
Oh.
Because they're always holding they don't put the drink down.
Right.
So they're like doing this dance where they have to hold it out in case it spills.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to spill it on themselves. So they're like doing this thing with their asses out.
Asses out.
Asses out.
Got the sunglasses on the back of their ears, backwards. Like the fisherman
that
thing.
way?
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah, I think that's what I mean.
That's
the
not
dude.
bad.
I can't even imagine what the ladies look like, but that's just the dudes.
They're messes too.
But
Because who would hook up with a dude like that except the female counterpart?
That's a lid for every pot right there. That harmonious.
Yeah.
Keeps them off the street. Keeps them going in for normal people. Now, but I guess they wouldn't, because the moment she's like, "Don't you like Jimmy Buffett?" and you go, "No," she's out. She's out of there.
Good.
Right.
I say, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out.
As she's closing her suitcase full of money, and you were like, "Oh." I mean, it's money. What's a little cheeseburger in paradise?
I don't know. I've never heard it, so
You're gonna love it.
Yeah,
It may turn you. I don't. But
I'm a little nervous, to be honest.
Here's the problem.
I remember somebody once said to me, "I'm not afraid to suck. I'm just afraid I'll like it." And I feel like this could.
That's frightening.
I feel like this is a similar event.
And I hope to God that's somebody we don't know, because
of course it is.
God, now I'm gonna have to look at everybody with that.
I'll tell you who it is.
Please off, Mike.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun to look at that person that way, differently.
Yeah.
But if they do like it, that's their thing then.
Hey, I say go with.
Should they not be celebrated?
Do whatever you want to do. I don't care. No judgments
No,
for me.
Right.
If that's what you like, that's what you like.
Right, exactly. And my thing is that wouldn't that person feel better if they got it out of the way? I do like it. I'm going to do this. I mean, you're not tormented anymore with the thought of it, right?
Yeah.
How do you know you don't like Brussels sprouts to eat a Brussels sprout?
Dive in, dive on.
Right.
Right.
I mean, but unlike the Brussels sprout, there's probably a lot of variables to jump in.
Probably.
Right. Where do you start?
Probably.
Where do you go forward? Where do you start?
You just grab a random one.
Right. You got to hope that person's on board for I need this,
Now that I'm analyzing it in my head, I feel so bad for women.
Oh, it's awful.
The gross things they have to have in their face. So many.
And that's just the person.
So many stinky nuts floating around in population.
God.
Just an unwashed sack. Sorry, ladies.
Why is the sack unwashed?
Because I think people are generally gross.
It's just dirty.
You probably
I think it's
at the most, unless you're like a gym rat, you probably only do one shower a day, right?
Right. Yeah.
So if they catch you at the tail end,
Whatever
which is
part
like
of the cycle is, right?
Yeah, like you go to work, then you go out on a dinner date,
right,
and then afterwards somebody might do you the favor,
right.
But by that time you've already been up for 15 hours,
right,
walking around doing whatever you got to do throughout your day,
right.
So you got some funk going on. You got some underfunk, and now you are
underfunk.
Just assaulting some poor lady with it.
Your funk is way off the one.
And you think you deserve it because you bought dinner.
Right, yeah.
Like you deserve all this. Not only do you have to swallow my children, but you have to...
Wow, that's true. I mean, it's all true. You're not a liar.
You have to take the nut funk along with it.
The nut funk.
Yeah.
James Brown wrote a song about that. He had to. But that had... I would think more of it'd be to tie it in the asshole, because people probably don't clean up as well as they should during the day.
Probably not. I heard somebody talking about showering, that they don't wash their legs in a shower because they just figure that soap runs down and will clean that. And it was like, that makes no sense. And then they were talking about they don't wash their feet either.
That just the water on the bottom takes care of it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and because it's hard to wash your feet in the shower. I was like, why don't you just get a back brush and you don't have to bend down? Like,
but wait a minute. But
you put a hand on the wall.
Right. Or couldn't you kill all those birds with one stone? You soap up your asshole. You bend over to wash your feet. Now your asshole's getting clean because the soap's getting pushed off by the shower head. And then you turn around and get your feet done. You're efficient. You're done.
Hey, man, it's not me.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm a clean person.
I know. I'm not judging you.
No nut funk here.
No. You're fastidious, as they say.
Thank you. Metro is what they say.
Metro.
I'm metrosexual.
That's still a thing.
I don't know.
That was a
no,
thing.
I don't think so. Because now that would be like, being mean.
Right.
You can't categorize anybody with anything anymore, right?
Well, they do, but they can't.
Only if it works to their advantage.
Right.
Yes.
If people categorize themselves all the time, but if you categorize them, that's wrong.
Right. But I don't see why that would be a bad thing, to be known as somebody who is fairly clean and
put together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
Right. You don't look like. I look like I came out of a hamper, but there's other people who, it's a clean it's like the clean clothes hamper. Like if you just left all the clean clothes in a hamper, didn't quite fold them.
Okay.
You just grab a few things out of there, throw them on. Yeah,
right.
that's
I
fine.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I started wearing the same stuff from the pandemic as a joke. I was like, I'm going to wear the same colored T-shirt every day, and my wife's going to think that I never changed my clothes for a month at a time. I just bought a lot of the same color shirt.
Trying to keep her away from you?
Well, no, I just thought it would be funny because she's like, we're not doing anything and you're not changing your clothes. Yeah, that's right. But in doing that, I've lost all my other clothes. So all I have is the same color shirt.
Does it get to a point where you don't know which ones are clean and which ones are dirty?
No, I always know which ones are dirty.
All right, sorry.
Yeah.
So they're separated.
Every one that comes off on Sunday is the dirty one. I'm going to start.
You only need 4 shirts.
I mean, I should start numbering.
Or 5.
5,
yeah. One each week.
Yeah, a number
week 1,
each
week
one.
2, week 3. Yeah. It's not a bad idea.
No. But then you're like, that's a little
Then
weird.
you have to have a calendar nearby so you know which week.
Right. You have to know what number you're... Well, you can figure out the number if you Monday's 1. But then what happens if you go to dinner on Friday?
No, the first week of the month.
Oh. And we're 1 week?
Yeah, if you change it on Sunday.
Right. What if you spill something on it? What if you fuck up on Monday and now you're screwed till Sunday with the same stain on your shirt?
See, problem.
Right.
Definitely a problem. You go out to Jose's, you're going to smell like a fajita.
Right.
For a week.
Or Ethiopian, like we did on Friday.
Yeah.
They were cooking. But they were cooking a lot.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people eating.
Yeah.
We were eating a lot.
I carried it home.
I woke up the next morning. I felt like I was in the middle of whatever city's in.
I was up all night, so I had to wash my face. I smelled it in my beard. I don't know if it was on my shirt, but
it was baked in.
I took everything and just had to douse it.
You'd smell like whatever the main city of Ethiopia is.
Addis Ababa.
You know that.
That's my guess.
Is that a real word?
Yeah, let's see.
I don't like fastidious smart ladies.
Hey. Largest city in Ethiopia.
What did it say, Misab? We got an atlas. Gondar.
No, that's 348,000.
Beer bar.
400. Oh, they're going in the other direction.
4 million there.
There you go.
Addis Ababa.
Ababa.
Why would you know that?
Dude, I know everything. You know why
you
I know
were a world traveler.
Do you know why I know it?
Why?
The first Superman movie. Lex Luthor was in the Addis Ababa. There was some conference there, I think.
Fucking kill me now. I've never wanted a ceiling to fall in. So now they're educational. Superman stories are educational.
Hey, I learned a little bit something about the world, and you didn't learn it.
No, because I don't believe in
until
superheroes.
30 years later. That's how far behind you are.
I am.
If you had just picked up a comic book as a kid, you would know about Addis Ababa. Slacker.
It sounds made up because of what's his name?
It's a different language.
No, no. Oh, what's his name? I know as much of
you know that you make great food, but your language is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, but what are you thinking?
Why don't you rethink that and get back to me?
I know Superman. Superman wasn't made by what's his name, right? The main dude. Everybody loves him, Stan Lee.
No, wrong company.
Right, but he always alliterates. Peter Parker. Addis Sab-a Dab.
He created the city in Ethiopia.
Yeah. So there was
built by Stan Lee.
Maybe it was an early crossover attempt.
You know, if you were Stan Lee, you could build a city real quick. I mean, look at your workforce.
Yeah.
See, they could carry anything and do it at super speeds.
Oh, you mean bringing all his people?
Yes. Yeah, you could have, if you had superhero workforce, you could build cities instantly.
Why don't you open that business? Superhero workforce, and just hire people that look like superheroes,
or wear the costumes.
Yeah, like you get enough guys with a lot of muscles and just throw them in them costumes and be like, "Hey."
No, I want average people in the costumes.
That's usually the case anyway.
People that actually think they're the superhero. That's what I want. And
just find them under a pile of bricks because he could carry them all. He tried. Your fake Superman who weighs 105 pounds tried to carry that pallet of bricks.
Skinny little legs with just bright red boots sticking out.
Just broken fake superheroes. I would doubt.
It's Wizard of Oz, but with...
You had it all the time.
With latex.
Oh, man.
The leggings. And tighty whiteys on the outside.
You are a
What is with the superheroes that they wear the underwear on the outside?
Yeah, I don't get that. That's your department. Me?
I didn't dress them.
I know why, but I'm not. They're mentally insane and they don't know how to dress themselves.
Got a little something extra going on.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, you know, if you have these superpowers.
Is it an extra chromosome?
It's got to mess with your head a little bit, right?
Yeah. Well, there you go. Now, are they an asshole?
No, they just wear their underwear.
No, but are they the asshole that they feel they need to save everybody because they got that superpower?
If I just put my drawers on the outside and we went out to watch the playoffs, right?
We'd have our own seats.
Would I be an asshole or would I just be a weirdo?
You'd be
I'd just be a weirdo.
Right. And
I'm not an asshole.
And they'd ask you if your parents are here.
No.
Make sure. They'd check you out. But I'm saying
who's his handler?
Right. No, I'm saying is like we said before, you keep your
Ladies and gentlemen, please donate to Talking on Toilets.
So we can keep this conversation
This guy needs to be placed under psychiatric care 24/7.
And we don't have that coverage for insurance. But like you said, like we said, you got to keep your friends in check. Do the superheroes keep the other superhero in check? Hey.
Obviously not.
Maybe skip saving those people. Who do you think you are?
And take the underwear off?
Yeah, why don't you put on a pair of pants and function? Is it really helping? Like, is there a little more flexibility with the kicking and the flying?
It must be, right? Because Superman always has to take his suit off.
Yeah, but those guys who are good at jiu-jitsu
but he's wearing it underneath. That's the thing. It's the costume's underneath.
Right. So it's his underpants.
Yeah, he's got to definitely have nut funk.
Yeah.
Right?
He's never out of that suit, is he?
Yeah, it's like wearing a balloon.
Right.
Basically.
He's wearing a balloon?
He's a balloon animal with a human head.
And nobody knows he's Superman. Everybody knows. I just think they're
He looks exactly the same. He just doesn't have glasses on.
Right. I just think everybody's being nice.
Yeah. Lois Lane knew exactly what she was doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she did.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, she did. But but I mean, why not put on a pair or a gi? I mean, those guys in jiu-jitsu are good and they got pants on.
Yeah, loose. You can move.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you got to take your clothes off to go fly around. I don't get it.
Right, or fight crime.
Or swing from a web or whatever. I don't know.
I don't
get it. Why is it got to be all tight?
Maybe it's intimidating. You see all the muscles and like, oh, look at this guy.
Not if you watch the original Batman show from the 60s.
No, yeah.
There was nothing intimidating about those two guys.
No. Questionable.
It was awesome. So awesome that there's something great about things being cheesy.
Oh, the cheapness of it.
The cheapness of it, the DIY. We're throwing it out there. We don't care about what people think.
Mm-hmm.
That just makes it awesome. And then, like, nobody was in shape back in the 60s.
No.
Nobody was working out, except maybe Jack LaLanne. He was the only guy, right? Right. And the guy who played Tarzan.
Right.
And that was it.
Was he a swimmer? Johnny Weissmuller? Was he Tarzan?
I don't know if he was a swimmer. I knew that was his name. I didn't want to seem like
Thought it was a swimmer.
I already threw out Sab-a Dab, but I didn't want to double down.
I'm just trying to
and
get
the
out.
Schmaltz. I got the Schmaltz in there, too. So.
I got what the Schmaltz was. I'm trying to stay on the scoreboard.
You did. You got chicken fat. I had no idea. I didn't know what the word meant.
Because that was a hell of a cook.
I thought it meant some kind of, like, tighty-whitey vibe.
Like a dance?
Like a waltzy type of...
Schmaltzy.
River dance, waltz, like very white thing compared to the blues.
Oh, and
then the combination of the two got together and
rounded off the edges.
Turned into rock and roll. Yeah.
All right.
I didn't know he was saying some kind of sentimentality to it.
And a little fat to the funk.
It's kind of deep if you think about Bon Scott.
Yeah.
Never would have thought he would have put those thoughts together.
No, me either.
It wasn't all about, his lady was so big she was breaking the sidewalk.
Right. And getting crabs.
Yeah, getting crabs. Right.
Getting a clap,
Right. Getting shot down in bars.
Yeah. It was all about rock and roll stuff.
Yeah.
Then he goes and throws that out there.
Yeah, he's talking about adding sentimentality to blues to make rock and roll.
Yeah. So there you go.
While he's drinking himself to death. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, why not?
So, but no, we did say that the 60s were even Star Trek 50s, right?
60s.
Something about seeing the wires and you had to actually suspend your belief, right?
All right, so this kind of goes back to our talk about fabricating art versus making it.
Right.
I like that aspect of it. A lot of people don't. They like the CGI BS.
They think
when I see that stuff, I'm like, this looks stupid to me.
Right.
It doesn't look real. It takes me out of the thing. Right. I know it's real. If there's even a stupid rubber shark that Batman's punching and is bending, like in the Batman movie.
Right.
One of the greatest scenes ever, by the way.
Punching plastic sharks.
Yeah.
I can believe that.
He's getting pulled out of the water, and the shark is on his leg, and he's punching it, and it's bending because it's a latex or rubberized shark.
Right.
It's fantastic. But they left it in there. No second takes. We don't need to do that. This is good the way it is.
Right.
It's like old albums. Like, you just hear mistakes.
Clicks.
Or
noises.
Yeah, it just doesn't even sound that good sometimes, but it just works.
Right. And that thing is you have to use your brain. I guess when you go to CGI, you don't have to use your brain as hard because they've got this full-on colorful world where you don't have to think much. But you have to kind of suspend belief to believe that disbelief, right? Suspend disbelief that Batman's walking up the side of a building when you know damn well he's not.
No.
But you're suspending that. Like the old Twilight Zones, all that stuff.
I think adding a bit of humanity into it makes it easier for you to dive in.
Right. Because it's not that far off the truth. It's not true, but it's not that far from it.
I think there's something cool about knowing that somebody is doing this thing and it's not just somebody using some replicating software to put 1,000 robots walking across a field.
Here we go again.
No, I'm just saying because I'm thinking of the later Star Wars movies and those.
Right, they got rid of miniatures and stop motion.
Yeah, because they couldn't build all those things; it would take forever.
But they should have.
They should have, but they didn't. They used computer technology instead, and it looks like ass.
I agree. That's why you check out after the first 3.
Joe, what were we just talking about?
Suspending disbelief for the humanity of movies.
Yeah, but do you remember exactly where we were?
Star Wars sucks.
Oh, you said that's why you got to stop at the first 3.
Right, because they were human-made.
Right, and then after that, then they went back to the beginning and they started introducing child actors.
Right.
And I can't stand child actors.
Not even Firestarter or Carrie? Firestarter.
Carrie's not really.
Yeah, Firestarter.
She was playing a teenager, but she was probably like 24.
What about Firestarter? Wasn't she a kid?
Never saw it because it looked stupid.
Probably was.
Yeah, they're never good.
No, the Stephen King movies never translate.
It's very rare that you see a child actor that you're like, well, that person can actually act.
That's actually kind of current news because they I was reading an article.
Wait a minute.
What?
I brought up something that was current news?
Yeah, almost indirectly. So there was
mark this down.
I don't know the name of the award, but it's like Razzle or Razme. I don't know.
Okay.
Something. So it's like the polar opposite of the Oscars for the crappiest actors.
Okay.
And they said some child actor in a new movie was the worst actor they saw this year.
Okay.
Which ties into what you're saying, but the whole...
Which is kind of an asshole thing to say.
Right.
Because it's a kid. Right?
Sure.
They don't really know what the hell they're doing. They're not mature. They can't, handle emotions.
But but you signed up. So they're looking at...
All right, open micer.
But they signed up for
fucking up this poor kid who's doing an open mic.
But the thing is this, right? I mean, they're not separating the art from the artist, right? They're saying this movie stunk because this actress stunk. P.S. By the way, she's 12. I mean, everybody went up in arms.
If the movie is built around a 12-year-old, then you're an idiot for writing that movie.
Right. It's all tied in somehow, right?
Like...
You don't give a lead actor...
What's the most popular TV show?
I don't know.
I would say probably the 2 that I've heard of. I mean, I don't really know, but probably Big Bang Theory, right? It's a big one. And then Modern Family.
Modern Family.
You ever watch Modern Family?
I did watch Modern Family, yeah.
That one kid in there is fucking terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Phil's son.
Right.
I don't know, the white kid.
Right. Luke?
Yeah.
Luke.
That guy. Terrible.
Right.
I don't care who knows it.
But it's not built around them.
But every time he comes in, it stinks. And I'm like, why can't you just hire somebody else next season? Why is this kid back here again for another season when he's no good?
And now you think it's a maturity thing?
Especially now he's getting older. Swap him out.
Right.
Somebody else who can act.
Do you think it's a maturity thing?
I don't know.
Or is it just an actor thing?
Why they stink?
Yeah.
I think some people just stink. I don't know why they kept the person in there, except maybe, his uncle is the producer or something. But I don't know that for sure.
Right. So if that comes to light, then why not call out the 12-year-old stunk in the movie? I mean, the company that came out with that now has issued a...
Well, I'm saying it's the film studio's fault for putting that movie out.
Sure. But damn well there's nothing.
Now, is it a kid's movie?
No. I don't know the movie.
Oh.
I just heard
Great.
I heard the story because I don't really I haven't watched any new movies, but you
just read headlines, right?
No, then I go in if I find it sort of interesting, and then I glaze over when I realize it's not interesting.
I've already glazed over.
Right.
About 30 minutes ago.
So I glaze over and come back. You say, this isn't interesting?
No, I'm fucking with you.
So you glaze over it, and it's not really that good. Because, but the point being is now they've come forward and said, well, we're going to in the future have an age restriction because they got so much backlash.
No, they shouldn't do that.
But that's what they're doing now.
That's dumb.
You're right. So why not just stick to your guns and say, we said it?
Yeah, well, I mean, nobody ever complained about Shirley Temple, right? She was like a little kid.
Right.
Right? So...
they may have, right? They may have complained about her.
But now you're saying there could never be a Shirley Temple. There could never be a...
Well, there can be. Just don't talk about it if they stink.
There can never be... Oh, so they're silencing
the critic. The critic who said...
Well, the critic is kind of an asshole.
Well, that he's saying
it's
now
no
we're going to have
than,
an age requirement on this thing.
What was her name? That fucking... That redheaded comedian lady that was all anti-Trump. Kathy Griffin. Right. When she was... Didn't she also go after his kid? Say something about
Probably.
His kid? Like, why? I mean, there's enough to go at.
Should not, right. You don't have to know about the children.
Plus, you're a professional comedian. You shouldn't need to go after a kid.
Right.
He's a kid.
I mean, unless the kid threw himself into the fire, maybe you say something to shut him down.
That's different.
But if the
that's
kid,
different. I don't have a problem with putting a kid in line.
little less.
Yeah, well, you know,
a bag of oranges.
If you're you're doing something, and your kid says, "Hey, Dad, you're doing something stupid,"
right?
You got to crush the kid, right? They got to know.
Break that spirit.
Yes, they got to know that you're the boss.
Of course, no, but I mean, it's like if she had said, "Oh,"
otherwise,
Trump
cub takes over the pride, and you can't have that.
Oh, I agree.
You can't have that.
Not until the cub kills the alpha.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, the kid should be left out, unless, like, she says, "Oh, you know, your dad's an asshole," and he says, "No, not. You're an asshole." Then she turns her guns and says, "No, you're the asshole." Yeah, you could talk to the kid then.
It sounds like a bunch of children right there.
But don't you think?
But you are. No, but you
don't
are.
you think everything that goes on Twitter and different places are a bunch of children just saying that to each other?
Okay, now we're getting to something. Yes, there's a bunch of morons on Twitter.
Yeah, there are. But that's the same thing, right? I mean,
but it's a lot of bots too. I think it's a lot of places
sure.
like they're in Moldova or something that are just go on
Abba
Addis Ababa, and they just go on Twitter trying to start shit.
Right.
Like that's what they do.
Right. It's create division, create insecurity, create division, don't create unity.
Whatever.
Right.
That's a lot of words. I wasn't really paying attention to, but that's okay.
It's a story
I'm
of my
sure
life.
there's something in there.
Yeah, there was. I don't know where, but there was.
Nice. I don't know why I'm coughing all of a sudden. What the fuck?
AIDS.
You think?
I don't know.
In the chest?
There was maybe move down. You had neck AIDS. Move down to chest AIDS.
They can cure that now.
Or
not cure it, but
you could lead your life without worrying about it.
Well, they drop it down so far that it's not even detectable. So they say you don't even have it.
Right, but
so
you have it.
Just give it to somebody else.
Right. It's just
I mean, you can't even give it to somebody
right.
else.
But why can't they just do the last part where they push it over the edge? Probably worth more money to keep it up there.
Yeah, it's already to that point. Then why?
Well, you're probably worth more.
Why dump the funding into it?
Right. But you're probably worth more keeping it up and down. Right.
So you're saying the only way to do it is to keep the people on the medication?
Sure, because
I mean, it makes sense.
Right. If you don't put the last piece of the puzzle in, then
right, you got somebody on the tit forever.
They're on the they're on the hook until whatever, till they give up.
They're the mob, dude.
Yeah, well,
they're the mob. They're totally keeping you on the tit.
Right. They're drug pushers, just without the cool car.
Well, I'm sure they
yeah.
got private jets. They're like, cars your ass.
Right.
Don't need that. I got a driver.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys. Now, is it the guy? Now, but is it the guy at the top, or is it the guy making the drug that says, you know what I mean? Like the scientist goes, "Hey, man, we made this thing that knocks HIV down to indetectable. They still got it, by the way." Or he came to him and said, "Hey, I got this drug that after 3 months, not only is this guy not good, his HIV is going to go down. It's over. We cured it." And the guy at the top goes, "Well, how hard is it to take that last part off?" He says, "Yeah, well, we just don't add eye of newt or whatever it's their scientists, whatever they add." And
there's got to be some of that. I mean, otherwise you're killing your profits, and you're gonna Anytime you have to, like, be beholden to anybody, you're compromised, right?
Sure.
So you got these shareholders, stakeholder folks.
Mm-hmm.
You kill one of your main drugs,
right?
Like, it's done.
Without even saying, this is for the good of humanity. They don't care.
They don't care about that. They don't care about profit.
Right. Profit's all that drives it. Right.
Right. It's like open sourcing software.
Right.
Nobody wants you to do that.
So they do it.
Some people do it, but they're not in the business. They're in the business of...
Well, what's his name's open source, I think. Musk. I think his stuff is open source to a point.
he's a different individual, though.
Right.
Everything he does, well, I shouldn't say that, not everything, but he does everything to sort of for the betterment of something. I'm not saying he's like 100% altruistic, but
right.
But it's geared towards that, right? Like make transportation better, make better solar panels.
Yeah, better. If you can help me make it better, we make it better. And it might even be a pathway into like, hey, this kid helped us make this better. Let's bring him on to see what else he can do on the payroll.
Could be.
You know, it's an open audition, right?
My apologies.
Vi with Zappa, right? You hand him his sheet music, right, to his songs. Hey, come on in.
Yep.
But yeah, that's a frightening thing where
That's the second biggest city in Ethiopia.
Frank Zappa?
Whatever you just said.
Happy birthday?
I don't know. You made some kind of noise. I vaguely sounded like English.
See? Man.
Sorry, I took you out of it, didn't I?
I'm done. How dare you? No, but I'm just saying, yeah, so, I mean, maybe that guy, he should have a conscience. I mean, he's still working. They probably just gave him a raise and said, yeah, keep that other thing in your pocket for a while until we get another catastrophic thing. And then, oh, by the way, let's take this out.
Here's my guess. So there's a third guy involved.
Okay.
The guy with no morals.
Right. Got to be.
Yeah, because I think the guy who invents the cure wants the cure to happen.
Right.
Then CEO guy steals it from him and gives it to researcher number 2, who's the shill.
Right.
And says, take out whatever it is that...
Engineer this.
Take out the last piece of the puzzle. That's my guess.
Right. Because the first guy...
And then the first guy, he's going to be like the rookie cop, right? He thinks he's going to do good. That's why he's joining the police force. And then he realizes that he could arrest as many criminals as he could pick up. And then the courts, because the lawyers do wheeling and dealing and shit, this guy gets released, that one gets released. And he's like, what am I doing my job for if they're just going to let everybody out on the street anyway?
Right.
So they distance the cure guy from that. Otherwise, he won't develop the things in the beginning.
Right. Because that guy who's doing the whole thing, also, they say, well, you built it under us. Right. Is there a guy?
Oh, yeah, they own it.
Right. That guy isn't in his garage making a cure for HIV.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's funded to do so that once CEO guy gets it, he looks at it and does what he wants.
Right.
Instead of solving a problem, you know what I mean, just dumbing it down to the lowest possible point, where you still got a leak in the faucet, but it's kind of fixed, right? You feel good. You feel better about yourself.
I wonder if you can actually do that, right? Because when you're trying to fix something,
you want to fix all of it.
Like a leaky faucet, right?
Right.
You put a gasket on it and it's fixed.
Right.
Right? Can you actually make something that's not quite... I mean, yes.
Fix it all the way?
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's harder... Well, it depends how complicated it is.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking out loud and it's going to sound like complete babbling nonsense.
Like the podcast, but yeah.
Yeah.
Or that would be the water company getting their hooks into the plumber going, hey, I see you're going over there to fix Tim's...
we need more drips.
Yeah, the drips make us money.
The DPH needs to go up.
Right.
Yeah.
Or better yet, yeah, he's got a leak. Fix it till he's satisfied, but not fixed. Tell him it can't be fully fixed, right? I could fix this where you're not even going to notice it. You're not going to hear the dripping. You're not going to see the dripping.
Right.
But it's dripping. And that's turning... Maybe it's not turning the water company's profit as fast, but it's still turning that profit. It's not shutting it off. And then you're either going to get sick of it, right? It's like the guy with the medicine. He's either going to get sick of taking it, and he's just going to go full-blown. Or finally, they're going to look at their records and go, we've made gazillion dollars on this drug. Let's put it to bed.
You know what? I think there's a thing where when a drug is on the market for so long, it becomes open sourced, right?
Right. Once it gets so many years, the patent becomes generic. You can then generic.
Right. So they squeeze as much as they can out of it.
Because that's the top dollar.
And then, yeah. I guess you want to keep your cash cows, too.
Sure. I'm sure they fight hard before that thing can come generic.
We're fighting hard, man.
That's right.
We are fighting hard in the trenches. Got to keep that Pfizer tick going.
Keep the take going. Get them envelopes.
Yes, exactly.
From Christopher Street. Get them envelopes.
Dude, you gotta get
San Francisco envelopes.
You gotta get your bonus. You gotta hit your benchmarks.
Right.
So you get that bonus.
So they're just not driving up in the they're just not driving up in that 67 Cadillac convertible, getting their envelope from San Francisco, getting their envelope from Christopher Street. They're going around and get their envelopes for their
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Like the drug dealers. Come on.
What does Christopher Street have to do?
That's where the guys have a lot of HIV.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
I hate this. All right, this is coming off. We're not even using any of this.
Snip.
Yeah, we can edit that.
We got that.
We can cut this whole thing out, just come up with a good ending, and we're just going to use the ending. So when this thing hits fucking 18... come up with an ending.
You're just going to bail?
No, I'm saying we got to come up with some kind of ending. We still have a net. But,
all right, so you're going to go watch some football?
Yeah.
Good. Who do you think's going to win? First game is what? The
Philly San Fran.
Eagles San Fran. Yeah, who you got?
Philly.
Yeah.
And I'd like to be surprised and see though nobody would want to watch the Super Bowl, I think Cincinnati could do it.
Depends how hurt Mahomes is, right?
Yeah, they're going to come after him hard to see how hurt he is.
You got to test that leg.
Yep.
Sure.
They want him limping as quick as possible.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I would say if he was 100%, I would definitely say that the Chiefs would take it.
Right.
But we won't know until he shows up because I don't watch TV or listen to reports or anything like that during the week.
And technically you can't right now. You got a big hole where your TV used to be.
I have other TVs.
Kid.
What family now has only one TV?
None. I don't think there's any.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like having one cell phone in a family.
Right. Like a house phone. No one's got a house phone.
Yeah. TVs are so cheap now.
Kinda.
My TV's coming tomorrow.
Oh, yeah? He ordered it?
He said 10:30. He's going to bring it.
Is he going to bring it over?
Yeah.
TV guy? What's his name?
TV guy. Yeah. His name is TV guy. Yeah.
All right, send us off.
Yeah. 10:30. New TV. Oh, so Philly and whatever.
San Fran.
That shows you how much I think San Fran's going to win it.
So it's
I
Philly.
can't even remember that they're playing. Yeah.
So it's Philly.
Philly and KC in the Super Bowl if Mahomes is somewhat mobile.
Did that happen once?
I don't know.
I know KC was in the Super Bowl, and obviously Philly was in the Super Bowl, but they weren't in against each other, were they?
I don't know.
Me either.
I'm not one of those people that remembers things like that.
I don't remember any of that.
No. Oh, Super Bowl 42 was... I don't know. I can't remember your stats. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't have hard drive space for that.
No. I agree with that one. Who cares?
Yeah. And then we're going to have a Super Bowl party here, probably.
All right.
Sounds like a plan.
We're
We're going to do the Taco Burrito Challenge, right?
What's that?
My dear neighbor keeps saying that the place in Amboy makes better Mexican food than the place here in Ford's.
Oh, then we got to have that.
And I think we need to prove her wrong.
Get a little bit of both and see.
Yes.
Sounds good.
But I think that place does more tacos and this place does more burritos. I'm not saying they don't both do the other thing, but
they're known.
When I order from this place, I order burritos. When I order from that place, I order burritos and quesadillas. And when I order from that place, I order tacos.
Gotcha. Well, it's got to be better than Buffalo Wild Wings.
It's going to be good. I'm excited.
Yep.
So let's go hit a bar. Let's get some food. And watch some football.
All right. Send us off.
All right, folks. QT! Have a great one. We'll see you next week. These drop on Wednesdays, right? Is that going to be the thing?
Yeah, right. The first on a Wednesday. I don't know.
Yeah, the first. So yeah.